Everybody, it's Ted Padromo. I'm back again. This is like my fourth live event this week. Over scheduling, I guess, but no.
No, LinkedIn's better for it, Ted.
It's good for it. Yeah. This is Aleasha Bahr. I met you, 2 years ago at Gary Barnes' event in Denver.
Yeah.
And I really resonate with you because I'm an introvert and I was struggling with sales, and you've really helped me a lot. So welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and honored that you would have me as a guest on your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah. So talk about this selling for introverts. And introverts, we like to just sit in the corner and not talk to anybody, but we do have to make sales.
You do. So actually, I found that introverts are the best salespeople. So the people often confuse that an introvert means that you're shy, but it doesn't really have to do with being shy or outgoing. One of the biggest indicators is how you get your energy. And I've only recently become aware that I am totally drained by human interaction. So I enjoy it, but I have to be really careful about, for example, I realize why networking events are so exhausting for me. It's because if I go with someone, it's easier because we can bounce off each other. But if I'm responsible for the conversation the whole time with new people, it's really hard. And for introverts, small talk slowly kills you, which I definitely feel like. You want to have those authentic conversations of substance more so than just mindless chatter.
Right.
So this is really good for a sales call. That means that the sales conversations you're having are very quality, that you are being authentic. When an introvert stops trying to act like an extrovert, I should clarify. So when they stop feeling like they need to be this bubbly, charming, small talking, schmoozing, blah, 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 blah person, then they really do even better, because it's, first of all, a pattern interrupt. Everybody expects their salesperson to be this charming, extroverted, smooth talker.
Right.
So it's automatically refreshing. And two, you just convey that you are trustworthy because you are. You're really being genuine. It's really difficult for introverts to not be real.
Right. Yeah, sometimes I'll get on sales calls with my competitors just to kind of see what their process is. And I was on a call yesterday with a guy, and it was so inauthentic. You could tell he was going to go through the steps.
Oh, no. Was it
chatter, but he wasn't authentic and asking me to learn more about me.
Yeah.
You could tell it was going to be a sales pitch, and he was just going through the steps. So
yeah. And honestly, hey, Randy, oh, I'm so glad you're here. Yes, be who you are. So I have a client who is more reserved and serious, but the feeling you get from him is this guy's going to take care of me.
Right.
And that's a wonderful feeling. Lean into that. Whatever your strengths are. I think that introverts just so often feel like they have to pretend to be somebody different than who they are, or their strengths aren't good enough or something, but they absolutely are. Lean into them. And if your client or prospect feels like you're going to take care of them, right, and that you care, that's going to sell so much more than just being a charming person.
Right. Or whatever. No, I wrote an email yesterday, and my list talked about LinkedIn is becoming like Tinder. Basically, people are swiping till they find somebody, and then they'll start selling to them. If they don't buy, they move on to the next one. Swipe right, swipe right, swipe right.
It's the spam messages are the LinkedIn version of penis photos.
Right. Exactly.
I'll send this one a penis photo. Maybe she'll bite.
Right.
Go on to the next one.
If I send enough messages, somebody will eventually say yes.
Yeah.
That's really sad.
It is really sad. And so we were talking actually, because we were on a live in my group, Sales is Not a Dirty Word, before, where I do subtle selling secrets on Wednesdays. And we were talking about how the mass strategy that used to be popular just doesn't work as well as engaging in quality conversations, which is where introverts shine. Quality conversations, sign me up. That's usually a big deal.
Yeah. Now you can tell when people are being authentic and not right away these days. It's they come at you with those sales pitch messages, and then they follow up with more sales pitch. Did you get my last message? You're please stop.
Oh, that's another topic. Follow-up. write the follow-up that you would respond to. And it has nothing to do with circling back or touching base or following up, or did you have any questions? Think about receiving those. Do you ever want to answer those?
Right. So I have my clients read their LinkedIn messages out loud to me. Would you actually say that to a person if you were face to face? And I go, no. Well, why are you sending that message?
Yeah, it's funny because I really feel like the world is shifting away from corporate speak, like that more formal language, because people just want like authenticity and like a real human. So when you have that formal language, it's like, what are you trying to sell me? Like nobody talks like this.
Right. Do you use sales scripts? Do you teach that?
So I create custom sales scripts for people based on their personality and service and audience. So one of the things that like baffles me is that somebody will say like they have this incredible script that, you know, sells so much and, you know, you can have it, but it's generic. It's generic. And, or maybe it worked really well for them, but they sell something completely different, like selling someone on how to run a business versus, you know, how to get rid of migraines or improve your diet. Like the fact that all of those people that someone's telling them they can use the same exact strategy and get the same results is so obviously not logical to me.
Right.
Like, of course that wouldn't work. So I don't know why everybody like is even trying to say that. So I customize it. Like I have a proven process, but I customize it to the person I'm working with to make sure it's language they would use, to make sure it's like uncovering whatever their specific things are with their, that they want to make sure that their clients have, or, you know, like ways to manage expectations, ways to represent themselves in a really accurate, authentic way they feel good about. Because if you feel confident delivering, it's going to make all the difference in you actually getting a sale. So that customization is so key, I found.
Yeah, I see the sales script. This one closed 80%. Like, then they send it to you and it's so generic. Or it's something I would never say myself. So I don't feel comfortable saying it.
And then they tell you that it's your mindset and you're not willing to get uncomfortable and you need to say the words exactly as they're listed on this script or it won't work. And I did a, you know, coaching in someone's group the other day, and these people were like kind of traumatized. I don't think LinkedIn deals with as much of that coaching program stuff that like people on Facebook deal with, but they were like, it was like similar to being in some type of toxic relationship where the person's just telling you like you have poor people mindset and you should just charge $10,000 and manifest it and use this generic script that, you know, is digging into somebody's shame over how they haven't achieved the results to this point, and that they'll be like a total loser if they don't.
Right.
And it's just so ingrained in them because they're basically being like verbally abused by the person who's created this generic script, because the person who's created the generic script doesn't want it to be like, it's not my problem. It's not me. It's you. But I think a real expert can work within what's comfortable for you and what represents your audience. And that's so important. Like to not have a cookie cutter, one size fits all. It's just so important.
And I go on timeshare tours sometimes. We used to, like, kind of for fun. She wanted the $100 card. So we'd sit there and we'd listen to it. And I just liked it because I could see what kind of angles they were going to use. Yeah. They do the probing and then they go in for the kill. And we had this one in Mexico. And at the end of it, the woman said, yeah, it's basically make them buy or make them cry.
Yeah. So I've seen a couple people be like, I know they're going to buy when they cry. So it's, you know, it's funny. I was talking to one of my old coworkers yesterday. We went to happy hour and we sold digital marketing for a really big national company. And I was like, yeah, since I got into this space, like there's really like this pain and shame selling. And she was like, what is that? And I told her about it and it's like, why would that ever work? And I'm like, I know, like if you, especially in B2B, if you were talking to an executive at a company and you told them that they weren't serious about their goals if they didn't move forward to you and that they were going to like go under and have a bunk business and go broke, they would laugh at you.
Right. Oh, I've had that happen to me when I was in the network manager days, there was a network, they were trying to sell me networking equipment. And the
Yeah.
guys came in and they brought in the second salesman. Then another meeting, we had the boss come in and he tried the high pressure tactics on me. I'm like, I'm not going to buy from you. At the time, it was like $100,000 product when things were like $5,000. Like, why would I spend so much money? I don't like the way you're approaching me.
Yeah, like you don't care. You're just in it for a sale.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if I bought from you, was this how you would treat me? Abuse me, basically, or pressure me?
And yes, the answer is yes. That is how
Yes.
they treat you in your program. But the sad thing is there are a lot of, sometimes I work with introverts who are like recovering from this sales strategy. And a lot of times they'll get people in their programs that like expected that, or like people who don't sign up because they think they're going to be like that. And they're a different person actually when they work with clients. But they notice that the person comes in with like this guard up and like this real combative attitude. And it's not a great way to start the client relationship either.
No. So I send LinkedIn messages to some people and I have fun. I ask them curious questions that are nothing to do with business.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thank God he's not selling me something.
It's also just like more pleasant for both people.
Yeah. Because I like to work with people that like to have fun. So I have fun with them. If they respond, it's like we have a connection.
Yeah. Like we're not here to be super serious. We're just here to have a good time and connect with people who share similar values and, hopefully have a win-win scenario if it makes sense. But if not, it's good to know that there's another good human in the world and maybe I can learn something. I always try to get on a call and learn something new that's interesting in some way. So like I was talking to a prospect the other day who had an octopus painting behind him and ended up telling me that like there's a theory that they are aliens.
Okay.
And like, they can change their substance to be like the same their DNA to be the substance of a window and or whatever they're around. Anyway, like fascinating.
It's interesting. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's totally off the wall, but it's a different level of connection.
Yes. A much more enjoyable one, especially for introverts.
Yeah. Yeah. If really people are very stressed or they're just aggressive, it's like, I don't want you as a client because you're going to just be one of those pain in the ass clients.
Which once you've done it, you will never do it again. Everybody's got to do the pain in the ass client at least once and then never again. Or do it more than once. Yeah. They usually
sneak up on you sometimes. They pretend they're one way and then when they start working with you, they're aggressive.
Well, so that's one of the things that I help people uncover in their sales strategy. So like if you have clients that present these common issues, you can ask things in the sales conversation that uncover that. And you can, at a bare minimum, really manage expectations. Like, so they know that, like, for example, are you okay with me not being available at your beck and call? But I will still get back to you in 48 hours at the latest.
Right.
That kind of stuff. And then they can't say anything on the other side of it.
Well, they can, but at least you've tried. What are some other questions you could ask? That's a great angle, though.
Yeah. Another one is like, you're going to have to do stuff. I know that sounds like obvious, but a lot of people don't realize it. Like you're going to have to do stuff like about, 1 to 3 hours a week. Mm-hmm. Are you okay with that? Because the only way you're not going to get results is if you don't do stuff.
Right.
Or like you might get discouraged a couple weeks in. It doesn't always just take off. Are you going to be able to stay committed for at least 3 months or something like that? Do you need this to work right now? Because this is not like a right now thing.
Right.
This is a later thing. So it actually often like sells it even more because you're being transparent with the other person.
Yeah. I've had that happen. You get a client, can you just do the LinkedIn for me? I said, no, we have to work together because I don't know your personality. I don't know who you know. We got to work together on this. Oh, no, I can't. You guys have to do it for me. Like, well, I can't help you.
We're not a fit. We're not a fit.
Or return on ads and they didn't get a sale the first hour and like, come on, we didn't get a sale yet. And like,
Yeah, like set that up ahead of time. Like it's going to take a max, like a max. I always like to tell them the worst case scenario and make sure like, this is the worst case scenario. Are you okay with that worst case scenario? It'll probably be better than that, but as long as you're okay with it, then we are good.
So how did you get into sales?
You know, it was kind of an accident. Yes, it usually is. I was really in client management first, but you know, I was always a blend of like an account manager and a salesperson. So like I could upsell.
Right.
And I was just saw a lot of success with it because I really cared about my clients. And then sales is a lot of money. So that's always really tempting. So, you know, I was like, a lot of money. I get to take care of my clients. I get to meet all these people that are interesting. Like, this is fun. I mean, I also had my ad agency for 3 years. So I was in the trenches in marketing and then in the trenches with sales before that. So it's really a nice blend because so often the marketing and the sales are not talking to each other.
Yeah, a lot of the time.
And it makes so much difference. I mean, it's like all the difference.
Mm-hmm. I've been there, been on the marketing side, and then the salespeople are selling something different. It's like, wait a minute.
Well, yeah. And also like there's like a rivalry between them in like a company usually. Like marketing's like sales is such an idiot. And sales is like marketing, they're so dumb. They don't do like, what do they do? And it really is like the marketing people need to know what people say to the salespeople so that they can make their marketing around that.
Right.
And then the salespeople need those people to be framed a certain way to come into the call. They can't be expecting something completely different than what the package actually is.
Right. The messaging has to match. Same with their social media promotions. They have to match what's going on.
Yeah, totally. It just like the words you use make such a difference depending on who you're trying to target.
Yeah. So how do you help people now?
So I do one-on-one stuff. I can help people build out a sales team. So that's something that a lot of people, especially solopreneurs, kind of get end up wasting a lot of time and money and energy on because they think they just hire a salesperson, especially if they're like commission only and they're providing them leads. They just hire a salesperson and they're like, I'm giving you leads. Like you should be able to close these. This is your thing. You're in sales.
Right.
And it's like, well, they don't know anything about your product. Like you need to fill them in. You have to train them. You need to give them some metrics to hit, like some line of communication, some consequences if they don't do this. And you need the right person. It can't just be anybody.
Right.
So I help them like put the whole foundation for a successful sales team. So I can do that. And then also I have my accelerator, my Settle Selling Accelerator program, which is 90 days. And it's like a really wonderful blend of one-on-ones and a mastermind and a course. And the end result is you have a custom to you sales strategy that wins business all the time. And that includes like looking at your marketing. It's like totally A to Z. So the pre-framing we're talking about all the way to like booking calls, follow-ups, all that stuff. So it's really been amazing doing that with this wonderful group of introverts.
And you have the marketing and sales combination, which is unique that you've been on both sides of it.
Yeah, it makes a hell of a difference. It really does. Because people will be like, I don't know why I can't sell anyone. And a lot of times it's that you're using language that's bringing in the wrong prospect. Or like, I'm working with a client right now. Why are only beginners coming to me? Well, it's because you're saying build your empire. Like you're saying like, set it up right from the beginning. Like words like that are not going to call to somebody who's further along. So being able to look at that and not just the sales process makes a big difference in the results.
Yeah, it's great to get a second set of eyes on everything like that.
Yeah, it's hard when you're...
What's your website?
So my website is AleashaBahr.com, and I do have something that helps a lot of introverts called pitch weaving. And you can sign up and get that. It's a 3-video series, and it shows you how to avoid the pitch altogether and instead pitch in the beginning of the call by weaving it into the question section, which is something that a lot of introverts are really great at. And it avoids that like monologue that you go on about, like it's like a 10-minute pitch at the end or whatever that everybody tunes out. Nobody wants that. Nobody likes giving it and no one likes hearing it. So it helps you avoid all of that and win a lot more business.
Cool. And is your Facebook group in public or is that for clients?
No, it is public. Sales is not a dirty word. It's a wonderful community of introverts. And we have lots of good conversation going on there and live trainings that are there to help you. You honestly could just get so far with your business just from going in there with all the free stuff. But then obviously, like, it's just a matter of people pay for convenience, right? So if you want to go faster, then you would look at my accelerator program, which is completely custom to you.
Cool. Well, thank you, Aleasha. This has been great.
This has been awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Ted.
Okay. We'll talk to you soon.